Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on closed hearings. In Nevada, we have a specific statute, NRS 125.080, that says that a trial of a divorce action can be private and that at the request of either party, the courtroom has to be cleared out. There are some exceptions to the rule. My understanding is that it's like family members connected to the case, perhaps well, obviously the parties themselves can't be removed. The lawyers for the parties, witnesses. I think witnesses may be able to be removed under the exclusionary rule. I have a video on that. But siblings, parents, so like I guess you could call them grandparents of the children anyway. But anyone else can be removed from the courtroom at the request of either party. As I mentioned, in Nevada, it comes from a statute. So I have serious questions with regards to if that statute didn't exist. Could anyone come in and watch anyone's dirty laundry air in a divorce action? Maybe. The other concern I have with regards to that statute is, does it cover child custody cases? It doesn't seem to, because it's talking about trials of divorces. There were some big, I don't want to say disputes or fights, but there was some argument as to whether or not that could be applied to other types of cases in Clark County, and they responded to that by making a local rule. It was called EDCR, which stands for 8th Judicial District Court Rule 5.02, but my understanding is that they got rid of that rule after NRS 125.080 was created, or maybe they just realized that law was there and there was no point to having that rule. But all that does is just add more confusion to this, because from what I read with regards to EDCR 5.02, it seemed to me that that could be used in any type of case, not just a divorce case, whereas NRS 125.080 appears to only apply to divorces. I'm really curious to see how other people's states approach this. If other states allow people to clear out a courtroom if it's a divorce or child custody case, and if so, where that authority comes from. I'm imagining that if in Nevada we have statutes and court rules that create this authority because it doesn't otherwise exist, but I may be wrong. There may be something that I don't know about, some kind of general legal principle, something in the common law, something I don't know about may already be out there that allows people to clear out the courtroom. I hope that this video didn't get too technical, but I was interested to see if other people had the power to do this in other states. And specifically, I was curious to see if other people were in states where they could not clear the courtroom out, where other people could just go in and sit down and just watch your divorce or your child custody action unfold. So I suppose the purpose of this video is threefold. First, I wanted people to know that this was a thing, that you can, at least in Nevada, you can, at least in divorce actions, you can clear out the courtroom if you don't want people that you don't know in there listening to all the details that are being flung back and forth in that case. The second thing that I was curious about was just how far this right goes. For example, is it just the trial? Or does it include all of the interlocutory hearings, like the case management conference, the settlement, well, those are confidential anyway. Settlement conferences are confidential in and of themselves anyway. But there's other hearings, like there may be pretrial hearings, review hearings, status hearings. There could be other things going on that have nothing to do with evidentiary, that are not an evidentiary hearing or a trial. I'm curious to see just how far that goes. And I'm also curious to see if there are situations where only married couples can do it in a divorce and people disputing child custody or paternity can't. No idea there either. Curious about that. The third thing I was curious about is if anyone had any specific insight as to where the authority comes from in their own state. I'm curious to see if there are states out there that don't have a court rule or a statute and the judges just do it anyway just because they can. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'm going to do a separate video under legal nuts and bolts that discusses the sealing of court cases or documents. But I'm not going to cover that in this video because that is something that can apply to any type of case, whereas this whole thing about closing a hearing is something specific to, what seems to me anyway, specific to domestic relations matters or family law. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I'll see you guys next time.